in.
Welcome to another episode of the Three Speech Podcast, coming to you from all over the UK. I'm Darius Davies. As ever, I'm joined on my left, Mr. Nico Yearwood. How's it going?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm great, man. How you doing, Darius?
I'm good. I'm enjoying the weather. And above me, Mr. Hate Speech himself, Leo Curse. How's it going?
Hello. I just wanted to say, I know you're saying Nico's to your left, but he's kind of
To your right.
our right.
He's actually on my right in real life as well. That is a problem and a failing of the English schooling system. I do not know my left or right. And on my diagonal left/right, we've got Mooch about town. What's up, Mooch?
I'm good. I don't think you can blame the English schooling system on the fact that you don't know your left from right. I think that's definitely on you.
No, it's not. It's on the schooling. If you haven't taught me left or right, it's obviously on the schooling education system. I'm not taking that. This is my left hand. Or is it my right hand? I don't know. Anyway, what's been going on this week in the world? Let's start, I think, with the biggest news. And the reason why we can't actually be doing the podcast in person, where it's coming to you from all over, it's been the launch of new centrist/right-leaning channel GB News, of which Leo starred via satellite the other day. Leo, GB News is launched last night. Is this a good thing for the UK? Is it a well-produced, high-quality channel? Are you excited for it? What are your thoughts? How was it? And also, crucially, did you get paid for your interview yesterday?
Well, I'm doing it on Saturday. Last night was just a 5-minute, fill-in thing, but I'm doing it on Saturday I'm a panelist on Andrew Doyle's show, so I'm getting paid for that. But they've actually budgeted more for my test, the COVID test. I've got to have a clear COVID test before I go on. So at the moment, the COVID test is a higher ranking broadcaster than me, higher paid broadcaster. But I just think it's great. I mean, it's a startup. Everybody's slamming it. Everybody's like, there's all these Twitter accounts like GB News fails. It's like, oh look, they got a typo. It's a fucking startup. Obviously, there's going to be some fucking typos. You know what I mean? They can only afford to hire people like Darius, got like a barely literate grasp of the English language. Sorry, as a dog trying to eat my pizza. But yeah, I can't believe, it's a startup. Obviously, there's going to be some teething problems, but I think it's great. It's got Andrew Neil, it's got Andrew Doyle, it's got the big intellectual heavy hitters of broadcasting. And I watched the Andrew Neil's interview with Rishi Sunak. It was amazing, holding his feet to the fire over the amount of debt we're getting in with all this coronavirus bollocks. It's a totally essential thing, asking the questions nobody else is asking, and also I'm on it quite a lot, which I'm not getting with the BBC.
Can I ask a question? So Rishi Sunak was on GB News. Well, does that make him racist? That is the question to the panel. Is Rishi Sunak now a racist for starring on GB News?
Why would he be a racist? Man,
no, of course not.
All this stuff and all these, I don't understand. All these people are IKEA.
The only thing on GB News that I saw was they asked that woman about Prince Andrew, and she said, no, he's not a pedophile, he's a ebophile or some shit, or a hebophile or whatever. So she's like, he likes the post pubescent ones or some shit.
Well, hold on. You know what? This is actually, she makes, whilst I don't want to defend Prince Andrew and or pedophile, she does make a point. There's a distinction, because there's a very real difference from a real nonce who goes after little children or under the age of 10, and a 15-year-old girl who's more or less a woman. Yeah, it's physically, not mentally, but physically a woman.
Are you quoting Dave Chappelle? How old is 16?
How exactly? I'm going to do the Dave Chappelle version. How old is 15 really?
How old is 15?
Because when I was 15, it starts pissing in my face. I know this is wrong, right? It's true. So I think I do understand the distinction, obviously, because it applies to Prince Andrew. I'm not going to accept it, and I'm going to maintain in my eyes, in my mind, that he's been pedoing on under 9s at Pizza Express.
Nah,
you know what?
He don't get a pass at all, man. That distinction is madness.
What you don't think there's a difference between someone who nonces on a 15-year-old girl, who's basically physically a woman, than a man who nonces on like a 5-year-old girl?
I'm saying all under the age of consent is just bad. He should know better.
Nah, I disagree.
Under the age of...
I disagree because, well, I'll tell you why I disagree. Because if you were in Spain, the age of consent is 14. So then it's okay if you cross an international border. So I disagree. I think there's a difference between a child, a teenager who's maturing and going through puberty, and a teenager who's gone through puberty.
He's not getting a pass for going with 15-year-olds.
No.
That's not right. He's a grown, hardback man.
No, I'm not.
40. He's old, 50.
Can I just say something? It's great to be part of a podcast that's clearly going to be used as evidence in court against Darius.
Man, attractive. Not at all. But listen, all I'm saying, and I don't want to big up myself, but when I was in Argentina, I lived in Argentina. I was 21 years old, right?
And what's the age of consent there? Is this all just preamble to defend your gap year antics?
No. So this is the story, right? It's 21 years old, right? We went out at about 3 a.m. in a club. We met 2 fine girls, right? And you got to remember, 21, and was in Argentina during the economic crash. That was the peak of my living standards, right? I had a penthouse apartment, a 4-poster bed. I had everything. Our apartment had a maid's quarters. That's how rich I was. We had a jacuzzi.
You're the Epstein of Argentina, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. And it only cost like £100 a month, right? So obviously I thought, well, it's only up from here. My lifestyle is going to completely trend upwards, right? So anyway, I was out one night with my friends. We've gone out 3 a.m. We met 2 girls, real fine, right? We got chatting to them. Anyway, they became friends of us. Nothing happened with them. They became friends, and he would come around and hang out around at our apartment. There's one real fit girl. Her name was Paz. And I remember she was trying it on with me a lot. Now, unfortunately for her, what she didn't realize is 21-year-old Darius was super autistic and had no play game with women at all. Unless a woman was even if a woman tried it on with me, I'm like, this is a trick, this is a ruse, this is fake, right? Up until the moment when she's sucking my dick, I was always thinking, this is a trick, this is a ruse, something's fake about this. So nothing happened. But one day we're hanging out, and she goes, guys, I have something to tell you. And we're like, She goes, I am very innocent. And then me and my friends were thinking to ourselves, this sounds like the start of a porn movie. And then she's like, I am 14 years old. I was like, for fuck me, man. It's like, we're 21. So we had to like kibosh that friendship because we're too young. But the point I'm trying to make is that I agree with you. If you're a grown man, you know the distinction. I knew even then at 21. But there's a distinction between a 14-year-old who's physically a man or a woman and they've matured, as opposed to someone under the age of who haven't even hit puberty. That was the only point. But I agree with you. You're 50 years old. You know going out with someone under age of the 18 is wrong.
Your Honor, the defendant has finished making his case for the plea bargain.
Just to clarify,
I can't wait to clip this up. To clip this up. Darius Davies admits noncery.
I thought the woman on GB News was bad, but Darius took it to the next level. I was like, fuck me.
I think there's a website, there's a Twitter account, Caught in 4K.
If R. Kelly sees this, he's like, I need Darius on my on my legal team.
What's the statute of limitations in Argentina?
About 1 month. About £10. That's the statute of liberties in Argentina.
No, it is a complex issue. I do think if a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old are going out, it's a very different story though to a 56-year-old and a 15-year-old, which is probably what Prince Andrew was. I don't know how old he was when the alleged noncery happened.
Like this sort of thing used to go on all the time. Like remember Bill Wyman, bassist from the Rolling Stones, he was going out with Mandy Smith when she was young, like well under the I was going to say speed limit, but like age limit.
But I think also one thing we have to remember with look, don't get me wrong, shitting on Prince Andrew is great, but these are all honey traps. I'm pretty sure. Do you know what I mean? Like he was all of this Epstein stuff is just it's intelligent honey traps. They've been set up to do this stuff so that they are now in the pockets intelligence agencies, whether it's Mossad, the CIA, MI5, MI6, and the guy is obviously an idiot. He's obviously a clown, but I don't think everyone who's been caught up in this is actively going, I want to fuck kids. They've just been put in situations. It's been filmed. They've been told about this. You're now under our control.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I'm not saying this is it's definitive, but I'm saying it's not like the like Eyes Wide Shut sort of thing where they're all just talking about just fucking kids. It's not all of them are like that. I'm sure there's some, but in my opinion, I think they're set up, and then once they're set up, they can't get out of that.
What are you talking about set up? You're saying that these guys
they don't know. So they are invited to an island, cool, whatever, like this. There's loads of girls, there's loads of partying, cool. They're filmed doing this stuff, and then they're brought into a room and going, cool, we've got you, bang to rights. This girl is under the age of 18, 17, 16, whatever. We will ruin you unless you... no.
It's not like that, because when the people went to his island, he was already charged previously, like 4 years prior, and they knew he had charges against him as a, for trafficking young women or whatnot. So they knew that he was involved with these younger women, and they still kind of let it slide.
I'm not saying Epstein wasn't. I'm saying some of the high-powered socialites or CEOs.
No. Yeah, I know, and I'm saying that they knew he had these charges against him, and were still going and socializing with him and whatnot.
I think
a lot of those people still knew that he was
but like I think
involved in those.
I think this has been going on much longer than those initial charges. It's not something that's just happened over the last 5 years.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there are records of people still going there even after it was known that he was doing these things.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, once they've got you, it's like you need to come to this party and you need to be seen here so that other big fishes will come to these parties and we can get them as well. I don't think it's just like a one and done.
Yeah, but some of them were definitely pedos as well.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Yes.
And they drink extremely.
And they knew what's going down. And Thing does a joke about it. Michelle does a joke about when she was invited to his house.
Michelle,
Jeffrey Epstein's house.
Yeah, you gotta see it. Michelle the Swart. She went to Epstein's house and she was talking about. But I don't want to ruin her joke. But basically, she's talking about how he picked the girls and that she was a bit too old for him at the time, and she was only
so she was invited that way.
Jeez.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
and that's a true story.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Michelle used to be a model in New York.
Yeah.
I know.
She was quite a big model.
But Epstein seemed to prey on women who didn't have, they're vulnerable because of their lack of social standing, I guess.
No, what happened, from what I've been told by Michelle, is basically the modeling agencies, he would call them up and the guys would basically just take the girls around, and it was kind of thought of as their jobs. Because Michelle was quite an established and good model, she was the in demand for actual campaigns. She can turn down work. But she said, what happens is they bring over a load of girls from the Ukraine, Russia, poor. They got them to America, and then they basically took away their passport. They put them all in one modeling house, and these girls are all fine, but there's levels of fine, right? So there's you're gonna be a Gap model and you're gonna be a Gucci model, but then below that there's all these good-looking girls, but they're not good enough for actual modeling work. And then those girls, the main guy, and he got indicted actually in the Epstein trials, would bring them to the house. She said she went to the house and she just knew it was weird. Then apparently they offered to fly her out there or whatever, according to the joke. But that's what I've heard.
Right.
So they bring over loads of Eastern European women, basically. Yeah. Definitely Lonces.
Yeah, them guys knew, man.
That's trafficking.
Them guys knew.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's part of it's true what you're saying as well, Mooch. There's a bit of that, but a bit of it is also like, yeah, we're nonsense as well.
I'm not looking to exonerate anyone.
Epstein
I'm just saying that I think
was...
that it's I find it hard to believe, and I may just being naive here, that there are that many paedophiles, but there probably are, and I'm probably wrong.
Oh man,
well, I guess it's like Darius says. I mean, Epstein wasn't like going after 8-year-old kids or whatever. So, you know, they were like, you know, what, 15, 16 years old.
And
Wow,
Nico.
Look how quickly it was before you turned.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more men who are attracted to, you know, 16-year-old women than there are men who are attracted to 8-year-old.
Is that dog
kids.
got a chewy toy?
Yeah.
Sounds like
I can hear it, and it's just
Roxy, come on.
Yeah, it sounds like you got rats or something.
It's a chewy and squeezy thing.
Yeah, we can hear.
I'm gonna take the dog for a walk later. Sorry, yeah.
What else we got?
But Epstein was covering himself.
But before I forget, do you all know the Ghislaine Maxwell Reddit conspiracy theory?
What's the Ghislaine Maxwell Reddit conspiracy
look
theory?
at that dog. Is that your dog now?
No.
No.
Well, let's see the dog quickly, this being as it's made an appearance. Let's have a look at the dog.
Hello, Roxy. Here you are.
Hello, doggy. All right, so the Reddit conspiracy theory is there is a superpower account on Reddit called something like G Maxwell, and it had the highest karma. It had loads of comments, loads of posts. It was one of the top 1% of all Reddit accounts. It stopped posting, and it had been posting continuously every day. It stopped posting the day she got arrested. And people are saying that it was her managing this Reddit account. And if you go look back at the Reddit history, it's very suspicious.
And what sort of things was it posting? Was it posting trying to solicit like underage women?
Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent.
No, but it kind of posting stuff that dictate the social narrative of the world. So in a way, like, you know, normalizing certain things, like good, like content that we probably all watch. I don't know particular. But
well, you in your Argentinian 21-year-old days probably would watch.
No, but it was stuff like whatever the memes are, but dictating the story. It's weird how Reddit basically controls everything, like on the internet. Is one of the super things of the internet, right? If you get content on that,
did you read that on Reddit?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, like honestly,
give
Reddit
an example of what the.
It's just a bunch of virgins
was posting.
Oh yeah. Listen, everyone on Reddit, all the users and who active fan base, I'm not gonna lie, they're very toxic and they're all virgins. That doesn't negate the fact that Reddit as a platform on the internet is very, very powerful,
influential. I will agree. Like its tagline is Reddit is the front page of the internet, and it is very much the case. If something is big on Reddit, it does trickle down to Instagram, Facebook. You know, and I'm talking memes, content, and stuff like that. But it is it is where you know, it is an aggregator of the best content on the internet. And once it's on the front page of Reddit, it just to the moon, as they say.
And it dictates the discourse. So they banned Donald Trump, then his fans have got nowhere to talk. They banned this, or they push certain, you know, vote for Biden, and it permeates. So it kind of dictates a narrative. But anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell.
I think it's owned, or a large chunk is owned by China now as well.
Yeah, that's true. So it's very like, the thing is, you think, it's top line innocent, but you scratch one of the co-founders was committed suicide. But people think he was murdered because he wanted to like not do certain things. It's all really suspicious because you think, because they're just showing dog puppy content, that it's not. But there's a lot of different layers. Like if you can.
But this just sounds like Pizzagate. This sounds like Pizzagate nonsense.
Yeah, but listen. You dismiss everything, Leo, and then until it comes out that it's true. Well, obviously it was true.
Well, like what?
I'm just telling you.
One example of some that I dismissed, and then it came out that it was true.
Well, this Ghislaine Maxwell has the power account on Reddit.
What
was
being posted on the account, Darius? Give an example of something that was posted on the account.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Nothing like but for example, an example like Cuties, why it's a good movie, something like that. So people are, oh yeah, this is like an art house movie. And I know how we've been like saying, oh, it's like pedo shit. Do you see? Just so this changes the narrative and the discourse of the conversation. So it's for you to have a look at. I'm not saying it's all true.
Whose phone is
nah,
that?
it's my. Oh, for fuck's sake, people love calling all the time. Piss off.
Wow, it's so loud.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell is calling.
Nah, it's a 14-year-old Argentinian girl.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
I've just pressed mute. No, don't leave a fucking me.
It's Paz from Argentina.
Let's listen. Who is it?
No, I don't know. I'm going to mute you so you can't.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to hear. It's the top.
Actually, Paz from Argentina, I've got her Guns N' Roses cassettes. That's how long ago it was. She gave it to me because an Argentinian guy stole my mini disc.
Mini disc.
I had a mini disc. They were really good.
And she gave you her Guns N' Roses tapes.
Honestly, she loved me. She was so fit, but because I'm such a noble guy, I thought, Ralph, 14 is just no. Even at 21, I knew that was bad.
That's noble. That's just
well
like
done
a law-abiding,
Darius.
like morally.
Listen,
noble and like morally just acceptable are two very different stuff. I didn't fuck this child. What a noble guy I am. I should be a knight. Knighted for not fucking children.
It's easy for you to say that sat in your studio. It's a whole different thing when a fucking 14-year-old who looks like a 19-year-old is stood in front of you and she's super fine. And you have to say, no, this is wrong. And crush her heart and her dreams.
Yeah.
But God damn it, if I ever go back to Argentina, if I ever go back to Argentina, I'm going to try and find her. So, hey, baby. She'll be like, no,
she's 37 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Probably.
She'll be fine. And listen, Argentinian women aren't like English women. They age like fine wine. English women age.
And she's not cool.
Yeah, she's not cool, baby. Back to GB News. The one thing, my take of it is like, what's going on with that studio, man? Why are you filming it in like a spaceship or something?
Studios are supposed to look like spaceships. They're all glass and like, lights, neon lights.
It doesn't.
It looks cool.
It's like it looks like a black cave. The clip I've seen.
So wait, I'm not on Twitter as much these days, and I thought there would be a little bit more of a fanfare with the launch of GB News. Am I just out of the loop, or has it just been a bit of a soft launch?
I think you're following the wrong accounts. It got more viewers than like Sky and BBC News combined. And there's been a lot of certainly my Twitter sphere,
it's all over Twitter, all over my timeline as well.
Okay,
so it's been successful. I think it's
mainly people making fun of it.
Well, I think it's always going to be the case, and I think with something quite so anti-left, or it's not as towing the line as the rest of the sort of media outlets. And it is seen as the Fox News of the UK. It's gonna have some backlash to it, and people are they've been sharpening the knives and looking to stick it to.
I just can't believe these brands that are withdrawing their advertising like on the first day of launch. It's like, what did you think you were advertising on? They just it's like when Michael Sheen handed back his OBE. It's like you knew what a OBE was. Why are they withdrawing their advert? They knew before. What do they think it was, the Disney Channel or something? You knew what it was going to be.
Brands?
So they're just doing it to get the to get the sort of to try and look good, like credit. IKEA and stuff. We've got branches in Saudi Arabia, so they obviously don't have that much of a sort of moral principles. And they're withdrawing their advertising just so they can say, "Oh, we withdrew our advertising from this because we're good people." Like, fuck you, IKEA. I'm going to go take a shit in one of your toilets in the showroom that isn't even plumbed in.
Mm. I mean, but the thing is with advertising, you don't actually pay for the channel. You pay media companies, and they just book them in whichever channels they can get time slots on. So they might not be. Well, I'm not.
Ruin my point with your conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy theory. I'm actually making your point. One, the channels are booked. They don't book that themselves. But still, for the brands to like succumb so easily to a few tweets, it's like, man, it's an advert on a TV show, a TV channel.
No, I think Copperberg, Nike, Copperberg, Nivea, IKEA, and Grosch have all pulled ads from the network. Which
and they've said it's because it breaches their inclusivity like mandate or whatever, their inclusivity rule. And it's like, why aren't they being inclusive to the people who watch GB News? Why has everything got to be just this very narrow sort of far left opinion?
You know what annoys me is this is the problem. I think why I dislike the left, right? And I consider myself on the left. I'll probably maybe tune into GB News. Maybe I won't. It's probably not for me. But I don't. Good. It's there. Let it be there. And everyone's like, well, if you don't like it, make your own Twitter. Make it so they made Parler. You put it down. The left go out of their way to try and cancel something they don't like. I can't see any right wingers going, oh, let's get the Guardian cancelled or let's get this cancelled. They don't care. It's like, just do what you want. But if they don't dislike something, they're always going out. Like the channel's been on for 2 days and they're already starting campaigns trying to boycott. It's like, man, just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Well, it's like, how hard is it? Why are you going out of your way to be? They're so cunty. In fact, if you want to get really annoyed, the biggest cunt in the world is some woman on TikTok, right? She finds people who like, I'm not wearing a mask or something, and then in the background she finds something, and then she reports them to their employers to get them fired. And all these Reddit nerds are like, oh, well done, they deserve it. It's like this is like the personification of massive cunt, and this is why I hate like the left. Like it's just like such dickheads. It's like, fine, it's for them, it's not for you. Make your own TV channel. Okay, we did, and now you're moaning and trying to get that cancelled. What can they do?
Yeah, I saw that. She got a nurse cancelled, but this nurse guy was he was a bit of an odious cunt as well. I'm not sure if.
Okay, no, I agree with you on that guy, but still, she's done it to other people. She done it to some woman who the woman was wearing a mask. But it was like a makeup mask or something, so it wasn't like, it was still a mask, but it had kind of holes so she could breathe. But she's like, look at this, like, look at this hack I found for a mask. But essentially, but it's like a joke. But she was wearing a mask. The woman like identified it from the chair seat of the airplane. Then she reported her, and then she got the woman put on a no-fly list, so the woman can't fly around. And if you listen, that's just being a malicious cunt.
I agree.
It's just malicious.
I
just
agree.
Like people like that.
And also, if the past year's shown us anything, it's the people who come out and they're like banging the drum for all this to cancel people. They get cancelled in the next wave because they're always doing something that's bad. So they get cancelled next time round.
It's not even the cancel. You know what it is? It's like these people that pretend to be so virtuous and so let's love everyone, let's all be kind. They're so hypocritical. They're so shallow. Yeah. And for me, they're the most toxic of the lot and the most hateful and spiteful and vindictive and uncaring and unsharing. Like there was some non-binary TikTok woman who did something that said, eat the rich, cancel the poor. Then the next week she goes, I bought my 2 million apartment. Let me show you a TikTok around a 2 million apartment. And then someone went, what about eat the rich? And someone else went, $2 million isn't rich for an apartment. They're so hypocritical. It's the hypocrisy that gets me. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I know we didn't talk about this before, but it's an interesting one that I saw in another podcast. Is the Shopify CEO, Tobias Lundke, who came out this week and he said very, very matter-of-factly, Shopify, we are not a family, we are a business. And we're more like a sports team rather than a family, and he's basically talking out because he had a lot of employees who were really focused on social change and stuff like this, and he was adamant that we're a business, we're a for-profit business here. We're not trying to change the world. We do want to be inclusive. We do want to be better for the world, but you need to be focused on one goal, and our goal is making the best shopping platform for the world. And I thought that was a refreshing sort of outlook, and just an honest sort of admission from a CEO about what businesses are. It's just, we're here to make money. We're here to do our one job.
Yeah, that's a refreshing thing. I wish all businesses would just be honest and say, look, we're here to make money. We're doing all this diversity, inclusivity, and like Pride Month stuff to make money, and just be honest about it.
Yeah, he told staff, not only is the Ottawa's company not a family, Shopify also cannot solve every social problem. Shopify is also not the government. We cannot solve every social right problem here, he wrote. We are part of an ecosystem of economies and cultures and actual countries. We cannot take care of all your needs. We will try our best to take care of the ones that ensure you can support our mission. The CEO then said that employees who engage in endless Slack trolling, victimhood thinking, and us versus them divisiveness and zero-sum thinking must be seen as for the threats that they are. Powerful stuff. Poor
This guy should have a show on GB News.
Poor performances and divisiveness cannot be tolerated. And I think it's nice to see, because like nothing gets solved with this divisiveness. Nothing gets solved with this like this lady is doing, snitching on people. You're just ruining people's lives and making people resent you and the situation that they're in even more.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between when someone actually does deserve to be cancelled, and by that I mean you see someone in a shop just, you know, dropping an N-bomb and going off at like some McDonald's worker or something. It's like, yeah, they should be found and reprimanded some way, somehow. But someone who makes a TikTok video saying, "Oh, look at this shit mask I've made," and you would go out and ruin her life so she can't get a job and stuff. It's just low down. Shopify sounds good. What will be interesting is to see how businesses' profits margins go. Like if all this diversity and inclusivity does, which is that all businesses are doing because they want to be seen to be doing it, to the extent that Victoria's Secrets has changed all their modeling team this week, and they said we're no longer going to model for the male gaze, so we're now going to get like these, and they're starting a new brand called Versus, and they've got like the American striker, I've forgotten her name, Rampo or whatever, who's with the captain for America,
Megan Rapinoe or some shit like
yeah
that. Megan something.
She's, well, be more respectful of the greatest footballer of the entire planet, please, Nico. She's going to be an ambassador for the brand, so we'll see. But I mean, that's going to be the true test of it.
It's an interesting point because, like right-wing people, so GB News, the people who watch GB News, right-wing people generally have money because you become right-wing when you get money. Like, you know, like Patrice Couleurs, when she buys her houses and stuff, she starts voting Tory because she wants to pay less tax. She wants to, you know, preserve the wealth for her family and stuff like that. But these advertising people are getting, you know, all these green-haired people are tweeting saying like, "Oh yes, IKEA have stopped supporting GB News." Those green-haired people aren't going and spending like $5,000 in IKEA. They're like, they got no money. So there could be, I think, and we certainly saw it with Gillette when Gillette came out and did that advert slagging off men who shave, which, you know, wasn't the best move for a shaving company to do. They lost $8 billion. That's how much their market capitalization dropped by as a result of that.
Speaking of, I mean, $8 billion off the share price of a company like Gillette or Coca-Cola is a big deal, but it's also not a huge amount on their thing. And we saw that with Ronaldo.
No, it's quite a lot.
It is quite a lot, but they're worth $256 billion.
Let's see what the market capitalization of Gillette.
No, I'm talking about. So with it happened this week when Ronaldo removed the 2 bottles of Coca-Cola from the press screen, moved it off camera, and Coca-Cola lost $4 billion off its share price.
It's like when I slagged off Ryanair on the BBC.
Well, it dipped, but then it went back up.
It dipped and it went back up,
and then it went back up.
But what I'm saying is 4 out of 256 is is not
Yeah.
a massive percentage, but it's a big number, but it's not a massive drop that much.
Yeah, holy shit! The market capitalization of Gillette is 185 billion. That is insane.
Yeah, they're big numbers.
Holy
But like
shit.
woke people don't need to shave as much. Maybe the women do a bit, but like woke men, they can't make hair in their face. They don't have any testosterone. All those soy faced fucking fluffy chin cunts like do that fucking soy face. They can't make any fucking hair. How many times a year do they shave?
Mooch, make sure Leo doing the soy face is the screen grab for this.
Yeah. There we go.
Anyone who
Actually,
does soy face.
all four, let's all do
What
a
is
soy
soy
face. We should
face?
have that-
What
it's
is
when you
soy
do this.
face?
So soy face it's interesting. So psychologists have looked at it, and it's somebody trying to show that they present no threat by looking as sort of as sort of weak
okay.
and vulnerable as possible.
I don't think disabled is the look they're going for, Darius. You look like Bill Gates.
I only
Bill
found that
Gates.
out like a week ago when I was talking to Nick Dixon.
Nick Dixon.
Yeah.
Nick Dixon.
He's who pointed it out to me. He was like, "Look at all these," because he was, saying
He
that.
has quite
look at all
an
these comedians, and they were like,
face.
"What?"
Nick Dixon has an unthreatening face, I'd say. He's got boyish.
No, he was
good
saying
looks.
that they all make that pose, and I went back and looked
Yeah.
at pictures, and it was true.
But I'd say that's more down to the photographer and the headshots that you're going with. You know what I mean?
No, you choose your own.
Nah, it is
headshot.
a thing, man. It is a thing,
Okay.
man.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. There's a phenomenon called soy face
Something.
Yeah.
like
that
that.
all these dweebs do.
And it's to present themselves as like unthreatening. It's like
I do gun fingers. Keep it real for the people, for the streets.
How did you do a gun when you were a kid? Did you do it like that, or did you do it like that?
It was like a menace to society. You hold it at an angle, like old dog.
Hey, pew pew.
What else has been happening?
So
we'll talk about Nick Dixon.
Nick Dixon, we had a bit of a technical issues last week, but they seem to be going all okay so far this week. But Nick Dixon was talk of the town amongst comedy Twitter for his article in the Express, where
Spike.
he. Sorry.
No, it was
The-
Express. You're right.
the
Neo's
Express.
incorrect.
Where he,
Oh no, the original article was in Spiked.
Oh, was it in Spiked? Where he shared a screen grab of a message he had from a promoter saying that he had a million billion able-bodied white good comedians, and he was looking for something different, and he wouldn't be able to give him the gig despite him being a good fit for the show.
That was in the Express.
You're right.
I put the journalist in touch with them.
Okay,
Don't
fair
worry.
enough. Well, I mean, so I think he got a lot of heat for this, and he got mocked, which is understandable from comedians. Probably went a bit too far, but the gripe people had with it was because the majority of comedy bills are straight white males, apparently. And
I don't think they are though.
I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the club. It depends on the
Where
geography
the club is.
Yeah, 100%. If
Like,
you're in
up
if you're in
north, where there's up north, you see more sort of straight white men only bills and stuff. Because like London's obviously much more
diverse.
multi. Yeah.
And it's sort of I've been talking about this to a number of different comedians. There was one comic who was like, okay, it's kind of tone deaf because this is the sort of reaction and replies that black comics have had for years. And it's cool, or historically at least.
And female comics as well. Female
And
comics get told, "Oh, we've already got a woman on."
Yeah. So I do understand there is like a little bit of a tone deafness about it. Jessica Fortescue had a similar situation that happened with a mirth control gig a couple of years ago, where she was pulled off the gig because the venue owner was like, I don't want more than one woman on the show. But the reaction to her,
good booking policy.
the reaction to her highlighting this injustice was vastly different to what Nick had experienced on online.
Yeah, I was really shocked to see, like, Nick being absolutely slammed by so many comics and comedy industry people. Like, so Katya Belfort from United Agents, she called him a bigot. It's like, how is he a bigot? I mean, like, what happened to Nick is bad, and what happened to Jessica is bad. And, if, that's sort of, if it happens to anybody, it's bad. Like, sort of prejudice or denying somebody work based on their race and gender and all the rest of it is bad. No, it can be bad when it happens to Nick, and it can be bad when it happens to someone else. It's not like an either-or situation.
It's only bad when it happens to me. I should be getting all the black spots, all of them. Me. Fed up with this nonsense. No, but I can see both sides kinda, cause yeah, there was a time you would see only one woman and one black person on the bill, and so people are trying to address that to a certain extent. So yeah, and Nick isn't gonna feel good when that happens. Nobody is thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna do this to." You're just thinking about me and my money, and I just lost a gig. So I can understand that side of things as well, because I'd be pissed as well if it happened the other way as well. So I understand both sides from people, make things more inclusive, and also the fact that maybe someone, because I hate when someone is, less talented than me getting a spot that I should get. And you see that all the time happening in comedy.
When did it happen? What was the one time it happened? What was the one time that happened?
It's when you got books for the gig, and I was like, this guy is shit. Leo's shit. But no, I understand how Nick could feel that way. It's like, because he is a great comedian, and despite what they want to say, Nick fucking slays.
That's true.
He crushes.
That's the other thing that always happens. It's like,
that's what pissed me off the most.
Yeah, so like you get all these comedians who you may not have even heard of, who've not seen at like pro clubs, calling him shit. And Nick is not a shit comic. He's a good comic. He does well.
Yeah,
Nick,
Nick's
I'll
great.
tell you this. Nick's last 5 minutes of his set is the best of probably, it's in the top 3, like in terms of gags per minute, gags per second. It is in the top 3 in the whole country. When he gets to that final stretch of his set, it's over. Like the place is flattened. So the guy, people on there talking about, oh, he's not funny or he's shit. No, you're talking madness. The guy is a killer. The guy is a killer. And yeah, maybe it's tone deaf and whatnot, but I can understand how someone would feel that way, seeing people who you don't feel good when you got the talent to do something and someone who's less talented gets a spot. So, personally, you don't feel good, even though it may be the right thing for society to do or something, give someone else a shot. But yeah, I can see how, both sides do kind of have a point. And how do you fix something as tricky as that? I don't know how you fix something like that.
Yeah, it's true. And like also how the industry works, especially with TV and stuff, TV opportunities. They're looking for, at the moment, there's such a rush. Well, for the last couple of years, there's been such a push, a rush for diversity. So you're seeing people, leapfrogging over, frankly, much better acts. Nick is like much better than, but I understand there's a social need to sort of have representation and diversity on TV. I think also, like, we sort of need to remember, like, the UK is 86% white. So if there's an all-white lineup, and also comedians are mostly male, because that's just, more men want to do it. So if there's an all-white, all-male lineup, that's going to happen, and it's having book nights myself, man, it's hard getting getting a good enough caliber of female acts. Like it's just hard because they're so in demand. They get offered like loads of gigs because everybody wants, everybody's sort of got to have a woman or two. It's the one problem I have with like hating live is trying to get a woman on every show.
Because we're noble like that.
It just makes the show better. It does make the show better. Having diversity, it does. Yeah, we're big fans of diversity and inclusion.
Here's my problem with that, right? It was wrong when it happened to others, and it was wrong when it happened to Nick. But Leo makes a point, right? At Hating Live, we always book a diverse lineup, and that means hopefully we get someone of color, we get a woman, we get a different gender. We don't do it because we're like, oh yeah, we're woke and we're right on. We do it because it's best for the show, because our audience watch the show and go, oh, I relate to that person, I relate to that person, I can relate, or there's someone they can relate to and cheer for, right? It just makes our show better, flavor. Right? But we don't preach it and say we're going to do this. We just do it. And this is the thing. The guy didn't have to. The guy could have just said, all right, I'll keep Nick in mind. Instead, he's like, I'm not doing this because I want to push this. And I want the pat on the back for you to know that I'm an ultra good person. Make sure you know that I only book black women and I'm really doing my bit. And the worst thing was about this whole thing is some shitball open mic comic daring to say Nick was a bad comedian. I was like, you fucking open mic ball bag shithead can barely face the front of the stage. And then you get old dickheads like Richard Herring, who, by the way, are the ones who fucking got the most out of being an old white dude in comedy because they started in the 90s when they benefited the most. Start today, Richard Herring, you fat piece of shit. You wouldn't go anywhere. You fucking know it, you long-haired little hobbit. Is it International Men's Day yet? Try that now. If you were 20 years old, he wouldn't go anywhere because he'd be the same at the back of the queue, right? So he profited most from it. But for him to say, "Oh, Nick's shit," it's just bullshit on Nick. Nick's a great comedian. I don't actually know Richard Herring, and if he's nice, Richard Herring,
he's not Richard Herring's not. I don't think even Richard Herring would claim to be a great comedian. But like when Richard Herring came out and like slammed Nick, man, like you say, Richard Herring started, in the 80s, the 90s, when he genuinely benefited from like systemic racism and sexism, and he benefited from that and made a career, which he probably wouldn't be able to do now because he wouldn't, he's not good enough. And for him to then turn around and slam someone else, man, Richard Herring should stand aside, make some space for like women of color or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Richard Herring should stand down. He's made his money. He's had his time in the spotlight. Make some space, you old white male, stale pale male.
Stale pale male. Please blank the name out so we don't get cancelled.
No, we should not. Fuck it, man. Like
what,
Richard Herring. Man, this is the thing. I never slag off anybody who doesn't slag me off first or slag off, Nick or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Nish Kumar slagged me off on stage. Like what's her name? Simon Ferdos calls me racist on Twitter. I'll come after anybody who slags me off. I never start the fight though. You know what I mean?
What is
Richard Herring like going after, trying to punch? I had to go at Nick. Nick, it really got to Nick. Nick was really like somebody like me or you who like revels in that kind of like it just makes us laugh and like it's funny. But like Nick, it really is just
the thing is Nick should have known better because there was no way the industry were going to go. Oh, yeah, it's got a bit of a point.
I think I wanted to know what
they sit there just going, come on, baby, please, give me something to be outraged. Oh, let me be outraged and say how virtuous I am. Woo!
But I think this is one of the things.
In this climate, that's a wild move to make for real.
I think him going. I'm like,
dude, did you see the Oscars? Did you see anything that's happening? Like, jeez. Maybe 3 years down the road you can pause that. But fucking hell.
But wait for GB News to find its feet first.
Yeah, exactly. Is that highlighting one of his why he was doing this? Was he trying to get notoriety through that, or was he just trying to highlight? Look, this is happening to.
Man, I think he was. You know what it is? It's this everything. My problem with everything that's going on, and this highlights it, is the hypocrisy of it. Nick considers himself to be more of a free-speaking kind of thing, straight down the line kind of guy. And all he's saying is, look, this is the hypocrisy of it. I've been turned down based on my race, based on my gender, right? And it's wrong when it happened to them, and it's wrong that it's happening now. And I just saw an advert, right? And it was posted on the internet, and it said, Jake is drunk. Jake was drunk. Jane was drunk. Jake and Jane had sex. Jane couldn't consent. Now Jake's going to prison. Man, Jake was drunk as well. He couldn't consent either. So it's like the hypocrisy of they disregard, like, you can be. I've seen racism towards white people. Like this
Darius, you're gonna get cancelled for the pedophile thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, just swap Jake for Paz. Paz was 14 and drunk. She could not consent.
I just want to know. I want to know what's in Darius's cookie settings that means that he's getting these adverts.
No, it was on Reddit. I saw it. I follow on Reddit. But the point is, it's like if
he
the guy was
follows Ghislaine Maxwell on Reddit.
I do. If the guy was drunk and the girl was drunk, then neither of them can consent, right? It wasn't Jake was sober and Jane was drunk. Yeah, then there's no consent. But if two people are both drunk, then neither of them can consent. From their argument, I'm just going by their argument. So their argument is, he's drunk. Well, so they're both drunk. Either both of them can consent or neither of them can consent. And the reason it is because it takes away any agency of women have. It's saying, oh, women are too stupid to know their own rules or bodies or know what they want or have any fucking standards. We need to treat them like little fucking girls and say when they can and protect them. It's like women are grown women. They're fucking have their own agency. They have their own power. They know their own body. They know what they want.
Are you talking about the
thing is, I think
Argentina here. Is this?
Yeah, I am. I don't know. I can't remember how I got onto that now. How old is 14 anyway?
Nico, what were you gonna say?
No, it's just that.
Imagine like some.
I love this.
No, delay. I was gonna say that. I think. Yeah, I'm glitching up here, man.
Yeah, it's like a delay on this.
Yeah, no.
Nico, what were you gonna say?
I'm moving and I'm waving my hand and it moving 10 seconds later and shit.
It's looking good on here on this side. Yeah, we are coming up to about an hour. We're on 52 minutes in. What other topics did we want to? Did we want to talk about Jada Pinkett? There's some news there, isn't there?
Can I just say, Christian Eriksen, he had a heart attack.
Oh, really?
On the football in the
Was
Euros.
it a heart attack?
Well,
yeah.
He had a heart attack and he collapsed on the football. Thing is, I was watching the match with my Australian mate, and he hates football, right? So when he fell over, he goes, look at this soft cunt, just falling down for absolutely no fucking reason, pretending to be fucking injured every single fucking time. Oh, look at it. Oh, yeah, go on, get the fucking medical staff out, you fucking soft cunt. Oh, they're doing CPR on him. What a soft cunt.
Just doubling down. Well, get well, Christian Eriksen, and also get well, Richard Herring, who's just finished his chemotherapy for testicular cancer.
What, serious?
Yeah, apparently I looked it up and I was like, oh. We're just shitting on a cancer survivor.
Who's we? Who's we? You mean Leo?
Yeah, not me. I'm not. Leo. Leo made me say it.
Jada Pinkett. What happened with Jada Pinkett? Nixman? I have no idea. So this is news to me.
No, she used to go with Tupac back in the day. And she's posting a love letter that Tupac, or a poem that Tupac wrote to her or some shit, whilst she's still married to Will Smith and whatnot.
Shit, getting cut from beyond the grave.
Did they have an open relationship or something?
They got some crazy relationship. Nobody knows. She had entanglements, she calls it. She had entanglements. So she's still infatuated. Every time there's something about Tupac, she... brings up their relationship, so she's obviously still in love with him or some shit.
But the impression I get from Jada Pinkett is she's nowhere near as big a star as Will Smith, and she is a star to a degree. But I think marrying Will Smith kind of really cemented where she was, because she was like a middle of the road sort of Hollywood actress, or was it Hollywood or is it more sitcoms? I don't really know. And then her sort of harping back to this her fling with Tupac is just another way of her clout chasing to a certain extent, going,
Yeah,
look,
possibly,
cool,
yeah.
I was this, and it's gonna get her column inches or clicks and keep her in the
Dick inches.
yeah. All eyes on me. So I don't see it as I mean it's not a good look, but fuck it, Hollywood's not a good look, man.
Yeah.
But poor Will Smith though, like every
Poor
time
Will
there's
Smith, he's
something-
getting so much pussy. I don't feel sorry for Will Smith at all. Oh
Nah,
no,
but
oh no. Everyone
she goes
thinks
on
I'm
a talk show. No, she goes on a talk show and confesses to having a affair with some young rapper. Like,
yeah.
what you gotta
And he
do
just
that
goes
online?
and fucks like a million tens. I don't think
But
Will Smith
is he-
has a problem getting pussy. A millionaire in Hollywood.
Is he going and like? Is he doing all that?
Of course.
Because if Bill was doing that, women would be selling that story, man.
Yeah.
They
He's
would
a
be
huge
selling that
star.
story left,
He's like
right, and center
biggest-
because he was like the guy. So nah. If he was doing that, we would have heard about it by now.
I doubt. I think you can keep shit quiet.
Nah, not in this day with social media and all that kind of stuff. If they got Kevin Hart and they got Chris Rock and all that, and they tried it with Dave Chappelle, they would definitely do it with Will Smith. He is bigger than all of them. At one point in time, he was bigger than all
I
of
still
them.
think he is probably.
Yeah.
He's
big.
Well, he
Probably-
hasn't had a movie for like 6 years now.
I know,
Yeah,
but he
that's
wasn't not in a movie for like 20. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was in everything.
He was in Aladdin like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, but he's
wasn't
not
a
as
hit,
big as
wasn't
he
a hit.
was
No.
in Men in
His-
Black
his-
2
his,
and Men in Black 1.
And
And
funnily
Independence
enough,
Day and shit.
Nick Dixon
Nick
wrote
wrote
Smith
for yeah.
Nick wrote for Will
on-
Smith.
in Aladdin.
In
Oh,
Aladdin,
was that?
yeah.
Did he get that job because he's white though? He was
You
the
know how he got
diversity
the
pick
job?
on Will Smith's sort of writing team.
Nick
How did he get the
saw
job?
apparently they saw a YouTube video of him and they booked him for it. That's pretty good. Nick's a great writer.
Yeah.
And that's
in
the end
terms
of the Nick
tagging
Dixon
and
is
punching
great
stuff
episode.
out, he's a killer, man.
Oh man, and like the hit rate, like when we're at Top Secret with him, it's man every line is like gets a laugh. It's like there's no wait for a laugh in Nick's set. Like
But he is a still pale male, so there you go.
yeah. But Will Smith and his wife, because their kids are pretty mental as well, didn't the like? one
They're
of them
not
thinks he's an
mental.
alien or something?
They are Gen Z. I think they're about right for Gen Z. They're kind of median. They're in the middle.
The son, what's his son, Jaden?
Jaden.
He wears dresses
Jaden.
and stuff and skirts, and the girl said she's in a polyamorous relationship or something. So I don't know.
Just like the mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah, but I think if you grow up with Will Smith as your dad, like the attention you get, you can't be a normal kid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
you
don't
can't-
think you can be a normal kid being a star. Period.
Yeah, I think you know,
gonna be strange, man.
You've got such an entourage around you, agreeing with everything. There's so much focus on the tiniest things you do. The pressure must be mental. Like that's crazy world fame. But growing up in your teenage years, the mistakes you made, whether it be in Argentina or in Glasgow.
I was already grown up in Argentina.
Yeah, I'm talking about her. But like, imagine the world's paparazzi and are watching and judging and writing articles, TMZ on everything, whether what you're wearing to what you're eating, what you look like, your body weight.
I think the lack of sort of genuine people around you, I think that's got to be one of the most difficult things for any celebrity. Just from like the sort of brief, times I've sort of been around celebrities and stuff, some of them are surrounded by people who just blow smoke up their arse. and it's it's like being a boss in a company. Like, so everybody's blowing smoke up your arse and kissing your arse and stuff. And like, I think if you don't have that sort of switch in your head that like tunes it out and realizes it's bullshit, like that can be a dangerous trap to fall into. And you see all these people, like even Muhammad Ali had this huge entourage. All these celebrities have big entourages. There's even that show Entourage about the whole phenomenon. Like
Yeah,
he does stand up now. He was coming down to Top Secret quite a bit last
he got
year.
cancelled. He got me too, didn't he?
It was Pete, what's his face, that got me that filming in Belarus. It was him that I put, because he was his agent for the UK. So
who
I put
does
him in
stand up?
touch with Mark.
The
Who does
guy
stand
who
up?
was the
Entourage.
star in Entourage.
He's called like
He
Ari.
went to top. Oh, he was in Top
Jeremy
Secret.
Piven.
Yeah.
Jeremy Piven,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Was he?
Yeah,
Was
he
he good?
came down to Top Secret like 5-6 times.
And was he good?
He was good for a person who had just started stand-up. Because he had just started because all of his acting work dried up. But you can see that he's ahead of a person who would have just started at that time because he got acting chops and he got confidence and he's got charisma. So yeah, he was good for the stage that he was at. You know, actors are just super confident.
Yeah. The stage presence was there, and with some decent material, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Darius, do you know that Pete guy? Peter, who ran the comedy Mancunian. Well, I've got his. He's on my phone, but can you remember him?
No, I don't know what we're talking about.
Is he? Pete McSweeney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was acting as Jeremy Piven's agent for the UK.
Oh,
so,
was he?
So yeah, I put them in touch with Mark to get the gigs at Top Secret.
Well, it's a little community, a little lovely right wing community.
All just straight white men helping other straight white men out. I love it.
Well, Ari's Jewish or something, isn't he?
I think
Jeremy
that counts
Piven's
as
Jewish
white. I'm
or
not sure. Does I suppose it counts as white when it's right.
Well, this is an interesting thing because Jews aren't seen as minorities, but like there's like 2.7 billion Muslims in the world, and there's like, I'm not joking, about 15 million Jews. So they're like a tiny minority compared to other.
Well, men technically are a minority. There's slightly fewer men than there are women.
Yeah, that's why we have to work harder.
Should we call it a day there? Because I've got to get going in about 20 minutes.
Let's call it a day.
I think it's been a good pod.
Though.
I think it's been a solid episode.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. If you've enjoyed this podcast, like and subscribe and leave a review. 5 stars if you could be bothered. If it's anything less than 5 stars, go fuck yourself.
Do you want to see where people can catch you, Leo?
Yeah, go on my YouTube, Leo Kears.
Solid. Nico, what have you got to plug?
I'm still trying to get people watch Beijing in Britain on YouTube. I want to get 10,000 views. I'm at 7,000 now.
Help him out. It'll be your diversity tick for the week. Darius, what have you got to plug?
Check out my YouTube, Darius Davies, to watch an exciting Urban Youth TV video where we discuss gay pride with the residents of Glasgow.
That sounds quite good, if I'm
That was funny.
It is
honest.
funny. It's pretty good.
And Vauxhall Creative
My
Network.
show is funny.
His show is also funny.
Funniest show.
Well, this is a
Top 25
3-minute
by Guardian
interview.
newspaper.
What a great
So watch it.
What a great show it was. All right, guys. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
Do the gang fingers, Leo. Not the getting fingered face.